you're gonna hate this, even though you're gonna know that it's absolutely right and that you should be listening. And here we go. So let me ask you a question. When you're in a situation where you're having a disagreement with someone, where you're having a falling out, where you don't get along, when something needs to be said, let me ask you this. Who's supposed to win, and what does that look like? Because we all want to win the argument, right? But the question is, who is supposed to win? And importantly, what does winning that argument look like? Does it look like people dead and bleeding on the floor saying, I'm so sorry, you were right all along, I should never have doubted you? Even though we would all say, no, I don't need that. We probably all want that. We all want people to admit that we're right. We want people sometimes to be sorry. Sorry they did the thing, or sorry they ever came up against us, right? Is that healthy? I mean, how about this? What if you only ever fight for everybody to win? What if that's how everybody disagreed? But is that just my opinion? Well, let's look in the survival guide. Ready? Take a deep breath. Here we go. A gentle answer turns away wrath, but a harsh word stirs up anger. A fool gives full vent to his spirit, but a wise man quietly holds it back. Good sense makes one slow to anger, and it is his glory to overlook an offence. A man of wrath stirs up strife, and one given to anger causes much transgression. Repay no one evil for evil, but give thought to do what is honourable in the sight of all. So then, let us pursue what makes for peace and for mutual upbuilding. Did you notice a trend? I know, right? They're all true. No, okay, there's a trend in that, and I'm seeing definitely a thread all the way through them, which is that you can't help anyone when you're angry. And I mean anyone. You can't help them, and you can't help yourself when you're angry. I mean, come on, how often have you said, I should not have said that? Come on, right? How often have you been in the middle of a situation and you did something that you regret because you got angry, right? And anyone who knows me right now is saying, John, you hypocrite. And yes, I absolutely am. But then again, so are you. So it's all good. But here's the question. Why do we do that? Why do we get ourselves into a situation that makes everything worse? Why haven't we learned by now? Well, Jesus said, do not judge, or you too will be judged. Now, we all know that one. That's really famous. We're all good at quoting that at anyone who we feel is judging us. But he went on to say a whole bunch more. When you see a speck in someone else's eye, first take the plank out of your own eye, and then you will see clearly to remove the speck from the brother's eye. Now that sounds a lot of words about specks, but let me clarify. He's not talking about specks as in glasses. He's talking about a speck of dust, or in some cases a splinter. Something in your eye. Now, I don't know about you, but if I get something in my eye, it hurts. So think about this in literal terms. You've got something in your eye, and it's a problem, and it's causing you problems, and it's annoying you and irritating you, and you're ready to explode. You're on the verge of exploding because what's going on in your life is hurting. And then you see that someone else isn't perfect, and that's the trigger. You've been holding on to all that rage and it spills out, and haven't you found that other people's imperfections are great at bringing out your anger? Even if it's nothing to do with you, you see someone's in the wrong and you think that shouldn't be allowed, and all your anger comes spilling out. Isn't it so easy to focus on someone else's faults? Isn't it tempting to focus on someone else's faults because it takes your mind off your own faults that are actually causing you to be very angry? Folks, it's possible that you're perfect, but it's unlikely. I mean, come on, let's face it. We all make mistakes, don't we? Right? And you don't want anyone judging you for your mistakes. You hypocrite. Because we all are, right? We are all really happy to judge each other's flaws and each other's problems, even if it's already causing them enough pain. It's easy enough to point and say, ha, you're wrong and here's why. Especially if it takes your mind off all the things that you're getting wrong in your own life that are causing you pain that you end up taking out on everybody else. Is this sounding familiar? Because I think we all do this. I don't think anybody's immune from this. So I don't think it was all that mean for Jesus to say, you hypocrite, when talking about people who do this, which is, let's face it, Everyone. So let's talk about the issues that you're struggling to deal with right now, where you've got confrontations that you've got to deal with. There's things that need to be put right and you don't want it to turn into a row, or maybe it already has turned into a row. Maybe you need to fix some issues with some people in your life because you already argued once and you don't want to do it again. So let's talk about how you can disagree with people and in the process not ruining a relationship, but actually building a relationship to make it stronger. Let me ask you, is victory about you winning or is it about them losing? Because very often our purpose is to bring someone down. They need to be taught a lesson. They need to know that they're wrong, right? Okay, well, that's a simple question for you, but here's another one. Is your fight about making things right or is it about making them pay? Because, right now you're starting to feel it, yeah? Because if it's about making things right, if the purpose of this discussion you're going to have, if it's about making things right, then everybody wins. But if it's about making them pay for what they did, then you're the bad guy. No matter what they did, it doesn't matter whether you're right about them being wrong. It doesn't matter. If your purpose is to make them pay for it, then you're out to punish someone. So you become the bad guy, no matter how right you are. So before you fix the problem, before you fix the issue, you gotta fix yourself. Now here's a saying that I'm quite well known for at this point because I say it all the time, which is that anger is a great engine, but terrible steering. I mean, like the survival guide says, and making a whip of cords, Jesus drove them all out of the temple? Oh dear, Jesus got angry. Jesus got very angry. This is known as the temple tantrum. This is where Jesus went into the temple and he didn't just shout at people, he got violent. Oof, wow, and I mean, it's really, really well known. If you look, all 4 of the Gospels record this story. So Jesus got angry. That's pretty bad, right? Because you're not supposed to get angry. Well, actually, it's not quite that simple. The moment after he chased them out of the temple, this happened. The blind and the lame came to him at the temple and he healed them. It seems he had an idea that this is what the temple's for, and he got angry because some people were using it as a place to make money. He was angry about the abuse that was going on, and when that was fixed, there was no more anger left. There was just love and kindness and helping people. And here's what we learn from this. Some fights are right to have. And you probably know that, right? There are some fights and they need to happen. You're not a bad guy for fighting. You're not a bad girl for fighting. It's okay. Some fights need to happen. Let's play a game. I'm going to show you 3 scenarios and you can tell me which is a fight that you should have and which is a fight you definitely shouldn't. Ready? Here we go. Fighting injustice, fighting for the poor, fighting for loo roll in the supermarket. Now, you should be able, if you really put some concentration to it, you should be able to see that 2 of those are okay and 1 of them is not. So let me ask you this. Are you frustrated with the situation you're in at home? Are you frustrated with the lockdown? Are you missing the people around you and you don't think it's fair? Are you cooped up with people at home and you're getting in each other's pockets and starting to bite at one another? Or are you just getting more and more frustrated that you're on your own and you can't see the people who you want to spend time with? Are you starting to feel like my hair product, which is currently saying, I can't hold on any longer? I don't know. Is this what's happening in your life? Okay, well, you've got to ask, is this a good fight? Is this an injustice fight or is this a loo roll fight? Okay, well, there's one easy way to find out. Make it a rule in your life that you only fight for everybody to win. If not, then whatever you're facing, whatever's annoying you, whatever's riling you up, just make sure that you're slow to anger and that you only return a gentle word, even if it's in reply to a harsh word that you received. And I know, I don't wanna, right? I don't feel like it, right? Okay, I know, you're never gonna feel like it. If you go on your feelings and your emotions, you're always gonna be fighting to win. You're always gonna be fighting to be right, not to resolve. You're going to want to make them pay. You're not going to want to make things right because emotions don't want to make things right. They just want to make you feel satisfied. And usually that means they did wrong, they need to pay for it. They've wronged me, I need to show them that I'm right. You versus them, and you're heading for trouble. But if it's you and them versus the problem, well, you know what? Now you're getting somewhere, right? So let's talk about that loo roll issue, right? So everybody got angry when they saw these images of people hoarding toilet rolls. And maybe some people watching the video are staying quiet right now because that was you. I don't know, right? Whatever it is, when people saw that, they got angry. How dare they? Right, okay, well, what is it you want to fight for? Is it to punish the people that are doing that? Or is it to protect the people who are left with nothing? Do you see the difference between those two? Are you seeing that difference? Now you're getting it. And this is one part, this is a really major part of how to fight without losing a friend. You've got to make sure that you're fighting the right fight, winning without wounding people, getting the right outcome and building relationships, not destroying them. And wouldn't that be great? Where you get to resolve issues and have stronger relationships instead of winning arguments and losing friends. So I'm just going to give you 4 really simple but not very easy steps, okay? Now you can do this, I believe in you, okay? But let me talk you through these, okay? So really, really simple 4 steps, even though the first one is 5 steps on its own, which is follow the pause steps. And if you missed that, I'm going to put it in the comments, but also we're going to put a link in the comments to week 1 of this series where we tell you the 5 simple steps to pausing and overpowering your panic. What you'll find is those same steps can help you overcome all kinds of emotions. So when you pause and you deal with those emotions, you'll find that from then on, you're working from your brain and not from your heart. You're thinking clearly, not emotionally. Okay? When you do that, you're ready for step 2. Are you ready? Here's a big one. You gotta forgive. Oh, I know, it's the last thing you want to do, especially when you're emotional, especially when it's all happening, right? Trust me on this. I got a simple question. What's your alternative? What else are you going to do? I mean, sooner or later, you're gonna end up there anyway, right? I lived through 25 years of the Troubles in Northern Ireland, where there was bombings and shootings and all kinds. And they only found peace, not through bombs or bullets, they only found peace when they were willing to let things go. When they were willing to accept that the other side had done things that they weren't sorry for and they were never going to pay for, but they wanted peace anyway. Sooner or later, you have to let go. The question is, how long do you want to wait? How much pain do you want to go through before you get there? Why not just say, today, this issue is bigger than how I'm feeling about it right now. I'm just going to choose to forgive. Even if I don't feel like it, I'm going to choose to forgive. That's hard. This one's harder. Apologize. Oh, last thing you want to do. I know, right? Especially when you feel like you're in the right. But here's the thing. Apologizing is not about being in the wrong. You got to separate apologies from thinking you're in the wrong. Separate those two altogether. Because here's the thing. You can be in the right and still hurt someone. Don't you need to apologize for that? You can be in the right, completely right about everything. What does that actually matter? I mean, it doesn't really mean a great deal, does it? Surely the way you treat people means an awful lot more. So how about this? I didn't mean to make you feel like that. It doesn't mean you're giving up on the issue. It just means you're giving up on attacking someone. That's it. And here's what you'll find. The minute you apologize, you put pressure on the other person to apologize as well. And that makes it easier to forgive them. Apologies and forgiveness go hand in hand because they're not about I'm letting go of the issue. That's agreement. That's a different thing. Apology and a forgiveness is about I'm letting go of the hurt. And whether you carry hurt around in your life is a choice that only you can make, but nothing will be resolved as long as you're carrying it. So choose to let go. Even if they haven't, choose to be the first and you see what happens. And then when you've paused, you've stabilized your emotions, you've forgiven them, you've apologized, you've let go of all the hurt and all the drama. Now you can ask a sensible question, which is, what's the mutual win? What do I need to come out of this with? And what do I need to make this situation better? And that's it. That's it. 4 really simple steps. 1, follow the pause process. Pause, breathe, ask yourself those questions that put the issue into context. And then apologize for your part in hurting them. Apologize for your part in any bad things that happened out of that argument. And then forgive them for whatever they did. And then just ask, what's the mutual win? An example of that would be the loo roll issue. So in that situation where people are hoarding the toilet roll and they're taking it all for themselves and there's none left for other people, what's the mutual win in that situation? It isn't punishing those people. They're acting out of fear. They're acting out of panic. I can understand panic. Can you? What's the mutual win in that situation? Well, I'm going to let you think about that. But there is so much wisdom in this one verse from the Survival Guide. So then, let us pursue what makes for peace and for mutual upbuilding. And that's your lesson for this week.